Hello everybody and welcome back to Oakfield Farm. Now I did do a stream a couple of days ago and we managed to finish off the silage in field number 38, which was really good because I did want to get it done as a stream instead of a video as a standard episode, because otherwise it would have been one massive time lapse, and as it turns out it took another hour and 15 minutes just to finish. So yes, it's really a good job that we did manage to complete that in a stream. But that of course means that we now have to compact the chaff, which is here. Now I was going to use Courseplay, but for whatever reason I can't seem to enable it in the game. I've used it before, so I'm not too sure why it currently isn't showing up, but it might be out of date or something. I might have to update it, I'm not too sure. But I think what I'll do is get one of these compacted. I'll have to do it myself. I think we'll probably do the one over the far side just here. You can see the one just in there, because that one isn't quite as full, so it shouldn't take as long to do. Now I'm just going to park the lorry in here. It's going to be a fairly suitable place for it. Neaten it up a bit, straighten up. There we go. And then we'll jump into the John Deere, which is parked just over here. And I'll start to drive backwards and forwards, compacting it. Now of course you don't need to see this, I'm going to do this as a time lapse. So yeah, I'm going to save you the boredom of watching me just drive backwards and forwards in real time. That would be a very dull experience. So here it is. This is the silage pit, which I have put probably 100,000 litres in. Okay, 250,000 litres, a bit more than I was anticipating, but that's fine. It means that we are going to have plenty of money coming in when it gets to the time for selling. Good grief, that is rough. Okay, well I'm just going to keep driving over it. It should start to get fairly smooth. The first few minutes will be a bit bumpy, but yes, hopefully very soon it's going to be a nice, smooth, compacted silage pit. Right, well, that fun event is almost over. I think it's 97% or 99% compacted. So just driving off should 100%. There we go. And all we have to do now is cover it over. Now I actually have got a tiny bit that's come out of the front, but I was trying not to go all the way back because otherwise it comes right out here. And then you have to scoop it up again and put it back into the silage pit. So that is all very good. It's now compacted and fermenting. I think I'm just going to put this tractor away. And then we're going to go to bed because it's actually almost 7 o'clock, which is bedtime, very early, but yeah, it's better to do these videos when it's nice and light instead of when it's just going dark. So if we just head over to the house, we'll go and put our feet up. Maybe by the morning it will be fermented. I don't know how quickly it's going to do it, but I would imagine it would take a couple of days. Okay, right, let's climb the stairs. A running commentary of me going to bed. The next step is to go flop. Bunker silo is done fermenting. That was super fast, I'm amazed. But if it is the same one, which it must be, because I don't think I have another bunker which is fermenting, it means that we can now start to sell the silage, but it also means that I can use some of the silage for the total mixed ration. However, we are lacking a vital ingredient, and that is hay. Yes, we do need to get some hay. So I think the best thing to do is to actually make the hay. Yeah, total mixed ration. There's no point buying hay. It's just a total waste of money. But we have straw, we have silage, we just need to get that final ingredient, and then we can make a really good total mixed ration. Okay, so I'm now in the case tractor just here, and I have established that we have lost quite a bit of money due to the leasing, which is fine really, because we're going to make so much money out of the silage. However, we do need to afford to lease or buy a tedder, windrower and mower. Now the machine which I was using in Missling is actually perfect, but it is a pretty big field that we're going to be working in. Now my first choice would be not a forestry machine, a mower, just here. This one here. However, the pricing on FS seems to be really off. It would not be £20,000 to lease it for a day, plus 7,980 per hour. That would be crazy. Really, if we're paying like £1,000 a day, this would be the thing I should be using. I don't know why the leasing cost is so high, because it just wouldn't be like that in real life. Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but it's not going to be £20,000 plus an hourly rate. So it means really we're restricted to using the smaller mowers, unless I just sell our mower and then just pay the really high expensive rip-off price for the self-propelled, because we do have this here, which could be sold, but then we have the issue with the windrow. So I'm going to just be quiet, I'm going to look into it and get back to you. Okay, so I have just found a pretty good setup. The only issue is money. Now, money in this game, for this series at least, is going to be absolutely fine. We're going to make a lot of money very soon. As soon as the silage is sold, we're going to be rich. And then we have everything else on top of that. We have the wool, the grain from the fields, and also the cows as well. They've got the milk, which we do need to actually sell from them, because I think we're probably actually filling up quite nicely. Yes, milk is 3,000 litres so far, which is pretty good. But, yes, currently we have not much money, just because we've had to spend it on the sprayer and also leasing. So, my plan is to take the existing mower over to the store. We're then going to pick up the new mowers, but we probably won't be able to pick up both. So if we can't afford both, I'm going to use the telehandler which is following me to buy a bucket. We'll bring it back to the yard and we'll sell one full lorry load of silage. That should then generate enough income to buy both mowers. We then have the issue with owning a tedder and owning a windrower, but it shouldn't be an issue because we have all of the silage there to sell, and of course we have a second pit which needs to be compacted if we run out of that one, but we have 250,000 litres alone just in there, so it's all very good. But yeah, by the end of this episode what we're going to be doing is mowing the field. We'll be probably I don't know, quarter of the way through. We'll probably have gone around the headlands a few times, and then that can be completed in either the next episode or the next stream. I am hoping to do more streams. They seem to go down pretty well, so I think it is a good idea. Plus, it makes the long-winded jobs just fly by. They don't take long at all. So it is a good thing to do. With these big fields, you do have to spend quite a bit of time doing its job, so a stream is perfect for that. Anyway, we're going through 7 springs just here on the way to the store. Now, I don't know if the horsepower of this tractor is going to be enough. I have established that this one is 288 horsepower. The John Deere that we have is 280 horsepower, so this one is 8 more technically. A whole small ride-on mower extra, which might be enough. I did check the price to upgrade this tractor from a 270 to a 300, and it would be an extra wouldn't it be an extra £12,500? Yeah, for the 3 on the model number, I meant to say 300 instead of 270. So yeah, that's actually not a bad price, because that actually puts it to something like 313 horsepower. But at the moment we can't really spare the cash. Great, I should have had the bale spike. I could have taken the bale away. Oh well, it is still there, so as soon as we require the bale, I will come and pick it up. It isn't going to be there for the whole series, but it's going to be there for today. Nobody's complained. Anyway, if my voice switches off, because it does do, it is hay fever. Sometimes I'm absolutely fine, other times my voice just has an on-off button which malfunctions. What are you doing, you crazed lunatic? You've just flipped my mower. That was very rude. Good job, somebody else is going to be owning it. That is, of course, if they give us anything for it. Now it's upside down, and no doubt very scratched. Yes, if my voice goes off, I was trying to say, it is because of hay fever. Very weird, I know, but that's what hay fever's like. Right, okay, so let's just push that back into there. Hope it hasn't devalued it too much. And we will get that sold. I could have sold it at the yard, actually. So, is that enough money? It's actually, I think it is, potentially. The setup I've gone for is a pretty good setup. We have the front mower and the rear mower. I think it's basically a reskin of the Lely, but it is a class. We have the 320FC, which we're going to buy outright, we're not going to lease. And then we have the 900MC, leaving us with £1,920, which is good. I'm going to keep this here now until I require it. I'm going to take the tractor over to the field with this, meaning we're not selling silage at the moment, but we are going to have to sell silage between cutting the field and tedding it, because I don't think we have a tedder. Of course, I will check before I buy a tedder, but I'm fairly sure we don't have one. Squeak! If I'm saying squeak for nothing, it is the wheel, but I'm not going to keep mentioning the wheel because some people can't even hear it, which is great, but I certainly can. It should have disappeared in a few episodes' time when I've replaced it. Anyway, yes, let us go. I just hope that it does have the power. If it doesn't have the power, then we'll have to maybe sell the Case tractor and the John Deere tractor and buy one bigger tractor. I don't know what brand it would be, but yeah, something bigger. I do quite fancy the JCBs, but if this can do it, then that's fine. We're not going to sell anything. Also, at the end of the episode, we'll muck out the cows if I remember. Hopefully I do remember. We also need to buy a tanker. Although, actually, no, our tanker probably is compatible with milk. Yes, it's milk compatible. Very nice. If it is, which I think it is, yes it is, we'll be possibly pumping milk at some point, but it just depends really if we need to. I don't actually know what the capacity is. How much milk can you store? Or is it unlimited? Please, if anybody knows, I would love to hear your reply. I guess the suitable tractor for this would be a class tractor. That would be a class setup. I could get a class actually, because I don't use class very often. It would be quite good. But if they bring a class DLC out at some point, then well, we'll be sorted. But at the moment, no news. No news at the moment. But to me, it is the most obvious brand next to come next. I would have thought it would be, but yeah, I was never expecting Anderson, so they might just get another brand out of the blue. Although Anderson stuff is good. I'm not trying to say it's bad or anything. It's just it was unexpected. In fact, I do like the Anderson stuff because you've got the much higher capacity feeder wagons, the feed mixers, and also there's the different auto stackers which are very handy. I especially like the extra capacity on the round bale auto stacker, because the current one, or the one which the Ursus, which was a mod from 17, it was actually in the base game in 17 but a mod for 19, that one only has a capacity of 8, which is very small. Okay, so this is the field on the left hand side. It's just behind these trees here. We're going to get the whole field cut, let it dry, ted it, and then we'll row it up and bale it in one go. Now I know of a variety of players who actually put the tedder on a worker directly behind this, or actually what they do is they couple the rear mower to the front mower, as you can do on some of these, and then they tow the tedder. But of course in real life that wouldn't work, because the tedder is to turn the grass over once it's had a time of drying, and it won't have dried at all in the split second it takes to dry from, well, for the tractor to pass over it and then the tedders go over it. So let's engage them, which is good, but will it be able to power it uphill? That's the other issue. Right, I actually don't think I've ever cut this field before, which is surprising because I have played on Oakfield quite a bit on 17, but it is a decent sized field. If you can see, there we go, decent sized field. There is going to be a lot of grass out of this. We'll obviously put our own hay into storage, which will likely be something like 20 bales, and then the rest will be sold. So we have even more money coming off this. Basically, we're going to be rich very soon. Currently we're very poor, but we're going to be rich, and then we're going to buy a different field and possibly a different machine as well. I just realised that writing there on the left mower is the right way around. That one there is inverted for whatever reason, not too sure why. Yeah, it's actually a fairly steep field. I can imagine driving back up here is going to be challenging even for a really high horsepower tractor, although yeah, I think 288 horsepower is plenty. It seems to be. It seems to be doing a pretty good job. Once I've attempted to go uphill, I'll put it on time lapse and then we can get the field done really quickly. That is steep. I didn't think from the top of the field there it's going to be quite so steep. You can see the speed is pulling down, my foot is still to the floor, but 9 miles per hour, that's alright. It's pretty good. But yes, the field isn't big enough to justify doing a stream. I can definitely get this done within the episodes. This isn't a very big job. The silage job, however, in field 38, that was huge. I can't believe how long it took. It must have been a good hour and 45 minutes to get it done, which in real life is obviously a perfect amount of time. But in a game, it does seem to, well, for an episode I should say, it does seem to take a long time. Right, so that's really good. It means that we don't have to buy a new tractor. This tractor is more than capable of powering the mowers and driving. So, let's get it finished. Almost finished already. It really hasn't taken too long, and this is a perfectly big enough setup. I did think initially that the self-propelled mower would be the best thing and the only thing really for this farm, but actually no, this is more than capable. It's a big setup. It's absolutely munched through this field. It's only taken about 5 minutes so far, so it's going well, which I'm very pleased about, because usually things don't go well. However, having said this, if I just had the single rear mower, which I did have initially, it would have been a real struggle. Thinking about it, I had the rear mower, so maybe I did have the front mower too, not too sure. It could be kicking around in a shed somewhere. If it is, I can sell it, but I don't think it was there. Now I should really sort out the mode which lifts up everything in one go. I think it's Control V. I used to use it in 17. I guess it still works in 19. Possibly. Yeah, I think I'm probably selecting the wrong mower. It has to be on a certain mower, probably the rear. We'll see. If I attempt to do it here. Ah, there we go, perfect. Yeah, it's always much easier and much more realistic to do that. Of course, if you get your timing right, if you don't, then you're going to miss a bit. But it should, in theory, if you start to lift when the front mowers come out, the rear mower should come out at the right time. But yeah, of course we've already finished that piece. But all we have to do is allow this to dry, and then we can ted it, row it up, and bale it. We are going to have a lot of bales. I also like the mod which allows you to have different colours of dirt. I think it probably does exaggerate the green a bit, but it's still good. I do like it. I've seen quite a few people say the green is exaggerated, but it kind of works. It does work. I know that in real life, what it is more than anything actually, if it's dry, is it really polishes the rubber up, so actually they become really shiny rather than green. But if it's wet, really wet, the green sap, would it be called, juices come out of the grass, and yeah, they do make the wheels green, especially on rider mowers. It's a good mod that though, the one which allows you to have different colours, especially for line spreading actually, because it allows all the tyres to go pretty much white. Got timing wrong, going too fast. Anyway, I'll just finish off here and then we can move on. Right, okay, so yeah, final piece just over there. Hopefully it is the right width for the mower. I don't know how many meters this is, but I could check if I really wanted to know. It's probably 6 meters, would it be? I don't know, I'll take a look. And no, I overestimated it. We're going to have to head back up. But that is the field almost done. I think the next job really is to muck out the cows and possibly start loading some silage up, maybe even sell some silage. There we go. Right, okay, so switch it all off, lift it up. We'll go and park it in the yard. This tractor is now officially the mowing tractor. It can be its only job, because we don't actually need so many tractors. It can have its own designated job. Saves taking the mowers off every time. As I was saying in my live stream, I'm fairly sure that 2 years ago, in June, they announced the Platinum Edition for FS17, which was then released in November of that year. So if they're going by the same trend, I wouldn't be surprised if they announced something like Gold Edition, Platinum Edition, Titanium Edition, whatever it's going to be called, within the next month or so for release in November. I might be wrong, maybe there's not going to be any extra edition for this game, but yes, just definitely keep that in mind. It would be very interesting to know. Okay, right, there we go. So, let's just check up on the manure. I think it will have increased a bit. We've got the compact tractor just there. There will certainly be enough to muck out, so we'll get the tractor going. I think it would be wise to remove the deck, because driving the deck through the poop is just mucky. If I lift the front loader up, I should be able to detach it and then back over it. Nice. With a wheelie included. Yeah, if it's just one bucket load, that's fine, but I just want to keep on top of this, because if it does become out of hand, if it does just keep piling up, it's going to be really difficult to muck out. It's a good tool for the job, this. Look at that. Oh, crikey, it's very heavy. I didn't realise manure was quite so heavy, but clearly I have underestimated that. So if we just drag the bucket down, I need to get a weight. I think there might be a weight suitable for this. We might have to use the 650 weight. Interesting. Yeah, manure is heavy, clearly. 2 tons we've got in here. I'm not too sure if we own a weight already, but if we do, I might as well use that. Right. Good. So that is that issue solved, and we are piling the manure up. We do need to get a muck spreader as well, but of course that's going to have to wait until we have the money. But we have to use this lovely product that is being produced here. How much milk have they got now? 3,105. We've also got slurry, actually, so we need to get a slurry spreader. And the manure, there's still 103 litres left, but that's not even worth taking out just yet. I need to get the animal cleanliness mod, because it's just painful cleaning out the food. But we do need to keep on top of the total mixed ration. So, yes, if we can afford a bucket, which is going to be the issue, we are going to start filling up this trailer with silage. Yes, I can imagine a bucket for the telehandler is going to cost more than $19.20. We might have to take out a very small loan, but then it's going to seem really weird because we're going to have loads of money soon. So is it fermented? It is, right, okay, good. In that case, let's check out the prices for the buckets. Now, I did install the CSZ pack. That is a silage bucket just there, but I think I'm just going to go with a standard, like this one here. Something like that would be good. It is quite expensive though. That's good. 4,800. 3,000 litre capacity. Well, that's good, isn't it? That one there. We've got 7,900 litre capacity. Very impressive. And this one here is just 2,640, so that's very small. So the obvious one to go for is the BioBelt's lightweight bucket. But of course we can't afford it, which is hilarious because it's just not really that much money at all. And we are going to have so much money in the future. So unfortunately we're just going to have to borrow a bit of money. How embarrassing. Right, at least it gives me a bit of leeway for customizing. Nice colour that. JCB. I suppose technically it should be Massey Ferguson red since it's going to be on a Massey Ferguson telehandler. I think that colour scheme looks good. Right, so it should be over at the store. And then we can load up the trailer, sell the contents of the trailer, and then repay the loan. Oh, look at this. These assets are out of FS 09. Yes, 09. They were the Fendt tractor wheels. I always enjoy seeing assets from previous FS games. It's a big bucket. Look at the size of the thing. Although that's exactly what it says. Lightweight bucket for silage. So just right, really. You wouldn't want to be using this for manure. As we know, manure is very heavy. Actually, since it is so big, it can probably just consume this bale. Let's just pretend it was never even there. Can we get it in? Oh, hopefully it will. No, there is a car coming. Right. Foot to the floor. Yeah, it's definitely not going to go in. Some kind of collision thing on this bucket. It doesn't actually have a collision to the end of it. Understandably, since it isn't designed for picking up bales. I'm mistreating these tools. Okay, here we are. So let's see if it's actually going to be able to lift almost 8,000 litres of silage. It will be very interesting to see. That auto stacker needs to go in a different shed because it is completely in the way. It can, good. It can lift it. Although having said that, this yard is actually going to be fairly tricky for loading anyway, but yeah, if it was moved it would make it a bit easier. Yes, if I just back up and then pull forward, it's the only way of doing it, I think, for there to be enough space. So if I just park like this, it should be manageable. And it shouldn't take that long to fill. I think the capacity of the trailer is something like 63,000 litres, so I don't know if this is going to reach up. Obviously, it does feel quite heavy this. I don't know if it's going to tip forward. Might just have to do a smaller load. Because if I boom out, I can already feel it being very light. Might just tip, potentially. It's trying to tip. It is definitely trying to tip. So I think we'll probably just not fill the bucket quite as full. It's actually a fairly lightweight telehandler, so it is quite understandable. Right, well that did work, but I think if I had gone at that with any speed it would have just been straight over. It's another full load because it did work, but I think I should be putting less in. Anyway, I will get this done. It shouldn't take too long, and then we'll take it over to whichever is the best sell point. Okay, so we are pretty much full, I think. I think this is going to be the last load. And yeah, it is very unstable, but if you drive carefully it is fine. The only problem is when you spill it, it sort of goes underneath the lorry and lifts it up, which is interesting. That is full. It's left 95 litres in the bucket. Now I actually don't know how we're going to be selling this on this map. I've never sold silage here before. So I'm just going to have to do a little bit of research. The stables bale sell point. Will that accept this? I don't know. We've also got the biogas plant, so I don't know. With the name bale, it sort of implies that it will not work, but that's better. Well, there it is. That is the sell point. I have tagged it. Yes, we have 63,000 litres of fermented silage. But I think we're going to be going on a bit of a wild goose chase here, because I have absolutely no idea which is the best place to go to. Obviously that is the best price, but will it accept it? All we can do is head over there and find out. I think it is actually over at the, well, it's close to the other yard, but not necessarily at it. Yeah, it's up that really narrow track. And yes, this lorry has a very tinted windscreen. Okay, so I don't want to miss the turning. It is somewhere, it's just before the farm, just here. Oak Glen. Yeah, also the other thing is the entrance to this sell point could be incredibly tight, considering it's just that really small stable. In fact, I think I do know exactly where it is. It's where I had the horse on FS17. There was a horse mod, pony mod. And yes, I can remember the yard being incredibly tight. Here it is. You can see the beacon of light. It just depends exactly where the trigger is. Well, in itself, that is a bad turn. It's possible. Ah. Yeah, yes, I thought we were stuck. Well, if it accepts it, great. But I'm not really expecting it to at all, with the name Bale. Some of you might be watching this thinking, he's an idiot. Obviously it's not going to accept it. It says Bale. Actually, I think it did say sell. There we go, look. But will it actually accept it? That's the other thing. It is! It's taking it and our money is rocketing. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So we are going to finish with 41,530, but we do need to repay that loan. I don't want the loan. Good. You see, we have so much of that silage. We were getting tons of trailer loads. So we are, like I said, we are rich. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you again soon. Bye for now.